What is up? Welcome back. So we've been playing Dislyte about 30 days, certainly been having a lot of fun, but I've made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of things along the way. So I figured today in this video, I would share all of those things with you for all those new players that are coming as of today. Hopefully this will help you to not make the same mistakes I did and maybe learn things a little bit quicker than I learned them in the first 30 days. Now, since I still am a fairly new player, there might be things that I have left out in this video, so please post it in the comment, and also keep in mind of the date that this video was made. We are going to have a lot of changes coming in the next week, so I'm going to try to incorporate those things at least that we know. So let's get this started. And yeah, like I said, this is for beginning players. I know a lot of these things might seem pretty self-explanatory, but some of these things I didn't learn till a week or 2 weeks later, and it would have been pretty useful to know these things in the very beginning. I'll try to go as fast as I can and not spend too much time on one single thing, but one of the first things you do in this game is gonna be story. Now, as far as the auto sim feature, that is one of the first things I tried to look for and try to figure out, where is the sim feature? Well, you don't actually unlock the sim feature until I believe chapter 2. Now, as far as farming goes in the story, the best place to farm experiment and coins are going to be these practice stages off to the side. They're going to be up until chapter 3. So you're actually going to want to do that quite a bit, because you're going to need these experiment. You're going to need a lot of this gold. I know it's going to seem like you have an abundance of gold in the beginning, and you kind of do, but you're going to need it, and it does go away pretty quickly. The multi-battle is a very useful feature that I definitely implore everybody to do. Now, when you do multi-battle, you can battle 10 times in a row. Now, when it's on sim, when you're doing multi-battle after you have passed chapter 2 or whichever one it unlocks in, chapter 2 or chapter 3, you don't actually have to sit here and watch it. Now, I can't tell you how long it took me to figure this out, but this little button right here in the middle next to the stop button, you hit that button and it takes you back to the home page. Now, you can do other things while you are simming multi-battle in anything. It's not just in story. It's doing the multi-battle in any single game mode. You can back out of it and do other things. Now, if you're short on energy, one of the ways to get energy or stamina is going to be through these stamina supply packs. Now, people have said, you know what, you're going to want to save these. Honestly, I have found it pretty useful to use them, but don't just use them just to use them. I mean, use them efficiently, I guess, is the best suggestion that I can give you when you're at least doing something. If you don't want to spend stamina supply packs in the plaza over here on resources, I know this is a lot of money stuff, purchasing stuff, but all the way over here in the plaza resource section, you can buy stamina packs for 100 crystals. I think the first one or the first two is like 60 crystals, and so you can buy up to 10 of these a day. It took me forever to even find this. Now, as far as what to spend your crystals on the other hand, that is obviously up to you. But honestly, in the first 30 days that I've been playing this game, the only two things that I've spent crystals on are these gold records, which you can buy them unlimited amounts, and stamina. That is it. That is all I have used my crystals on. I haven't bought the elemental wave booster. I've gotten enough along the way to do that for the elemental wave boosters, but or for all the wave materials. I have never bought emission tickets, never bought gold. And speaking of records, let's jump on over to the record player. Now, one of the things over here that I did not know in the very beginning, which I wish I did know, is that it's actually a lot better if you spin the records by 10. Now, I don't have any hard concrete evidence for this, but I can tell you I used to do spin by 1 a lot. Many times in the first couple weeks. I spun by 1, maybe 5 here, 3 there, 6 there, and I swear I never pulled any epics. It probably 1 in the first 35 records I pulled. Spinning singles, I pulled like 1 out of 35 epics. Now, legendary odds don't seem to go up at all, but if you spend by 10, you will certainly get a lot more epics than you normally would spending by 1. That's just how I feel, and I think that's how probably a lot of people feel as well. Now, after you spend hundreds and hundreds of records, you're actually going to get a lot of duplicates, especially at the 3-star level. Now, there's going to be a lot of these espers that you do not use, do not touch, and you're thinking, well, you know what do I do with them? Well, I actually didn't learn this till like a week ago. Over in the resonance, when you resonate, which means combine the espers that you have, you get these little purple stars. And when they get to 6 purple stars, every esper of that same esper you get after that is, I guess, considered a duplicate, even though you do need 7 of them to reach this point. Another reason you're going to want to do the resonance is because every one of them that you put in here, you get a Starmon back. And believe it or not, they end up being a little bit more difficult to get. In the beginning, you have tons of them. It feels like you have tons of Starmon, but they do run out pretty quickly after the first 30 days. So when you resonate, if it is a 3-star Esper, you get a 3-star Starmon back. If you resonate and you do a 4-star Esper, like originally a 4-star, like him, he was originally a 4-star Esper. When you resonate him, you get a 4-star Starmon back. Same thing with 5-star. Now, after you resonate and get all the way up to 6 purple star, every Esper after that is going to be like an extra one, you know, one that you really can't do anything with to upgrade your Esper any further. So over in the record player, there's actually this little store up here at the top where it says like disassemble. You're going to click that, and all of the ones that are extra after you put in your 6 purple star are going to appear down here at the bottom. You're going to select all of them, and they're going to feed into this divine sequencer, and you're going to get a new currency. Now, in this new currency store, you can buy Starmon. Now, you might think in the beginning you have so many Starmon and you really don't need any, but I promise you that eventually, at least especially for me, after 30 days, I have run short, especially a 4-star and 5-star. Makes it really difficult to get extra, and so this really helps. You can also buy shimmer records, which is cool. Now, another thing that I did not know, which I didn't learn until a lot later, which I think is really beneficial for people starting out in the game that you should do pretty quickly, is to farm the experience of your Starmon. Now, you do have tons of Starmon in the beginning, and you do have lots of 3-star, lots of 4-star, and you might think, you know what, I don't need to do that, but you definitely will, and there's going to be a point in which you do. Now, to farm the experience, you do it just like with the regular Espers. You can put them in story or any other game mode, but you can also level them up. And just like with your Espers, once you hit level 30, you need to upgrade to go to 4-star. Now, you could do the same exact thing with the Starmon. Now, if you need a 4-star Starmon, all you need to do is level up the experience of a 3-star Starmon and then put in 3 3-star Starmons, and now that 3-star Starmon just became a 4-star Starmon. Now, this was almost game-changing for me when I first figured this out weeks after I started the game, but I think it's very important that you start considering to farm some of these to get as many 4-star and 5-star as possible. Now, continuing down that same path with the Starmon, you would think, you know, well, what Espers do you want to level up to that 6-star Starmon? Now, I'm not going to tell you which ones are better or which ones you should level up. You know, that's decision is definitely going to be all to you. Besides for your very first legendary Esper, because you're going to have missions to complete as far as leveling up that particular Esper for your very first one. Besides for that one, I think it's going to be up to you, but I do want to, you know, heed caution to be very selective in the ones you do up to 6-star. Now, 5-star, a lot easier to get, but the amount of Starmons that you get after you run out of your first 30 are really difficult to get, and you're going to have to do a lot of farming and a lot of leveling up the Staramon to the 5-star. So just be cautious on which ones you do after your initial legendary. Just start stockpiling up those 4-star and 5-star Staramon. Now, I guess since we're here, let's talk about the actual Esper itself and the materials to upgrade that Esper, and what I think that is beneficial to spend and not spend on, you know, things that I've learned along the way. Now, as far as the Ascension goes, I would certainly recommend while you're testing Espers to go at least to 3 Ascension stage 3. Now, this is because now you could do that with anybody, because I think that the Ascension materials are certainly a lot easier to get, probably the easiest thing to get besides for the Experimon. But it's probably the easiest thing to get, and even up to level 6 really isn't that bad. I wouldn't do it to level 6, but just the availability of the Ascension materials is pretty good. Now, on the other hand, the Abilamons is not. These are certainly a lot more difficult to obtain. And so my recommendation as far as the Abilamons go would be not to throw them into any single character just because you want to upgrade their abilities. They are pretty difficult to obtain. Even 3-star Abilamons you're gonna run out of. Now, there are particular Espers like this particular one where I put in a ton of Abilamons and I never use this guy. And I'm not saying he's a bad character, which he's not. He's pretty decent. But I didn't need to waste all of my Abilamons on this character because I'm not even for sure if I'm ever going to take him to level 60. If you have characters, especially DPS characters, that you take to level 60, those would be ones that I would definitely put in all of the Abilamons for. But and support Espers, the ones that you have to have their cooldowns reduced. There's certain particular ones that it could be pretty beneficial to use, but I wouldn't just throw them in there. I would be very cautious when you're talking about using your Abilamons. We do have a rewind though, and where you would find that is over in this events tab with the little Christmas box or whatever. The very first one right here, you can put in an Esper like the one that I just did, and which, you know, I'm definitely considering doing it. The only bad thing about the rewind though, and the reason why I have never done it, is that you don't get the ability materials back, you don't get the resonance back. And so while you do get the Ascensions back, which is fine, and the Experimon back, both of those are a lot easily farmable. The resonant and the abilities, on the other hand, are not, so that's why I've never done it, but the option's still there. Now let's talk about gear, because I think a lot of mistakes can be made when it comes to gear. First thing that I want to mention is that I would not level it up too high. I mean, you don't need to level it up to level 15 or level 12, especially if it is a 4-star piece. 5 stars, you might want to consider it just depending on the quality of it. But as far as the 6-star goes, even with the 6-star, it is so expensive as far as coins go to enhance this all the way to plus 15 that it doesn't seem to be very beneficial, especially within the first 30 days, to waste all of those coins trying to get even a flawless piece right here. Now this, granted, is not the perfect flawless piece by any point, especially in this particular slot, but it is a flawless, and you might think, hey, you know what, I'm gonna level this up to level 15 just because it's a flawless. I would certainly hold back, because you do not need to do that. Well then, so you might think, well, how far do you want to go? As far as the pieces go, you know, personally for me, what I typically do is, like, if you have a piece right here, just unlock the all 4 spots. And so I typically just go this far for 95% of all the cases. Now, of course, having that extra gear for ritual miracles is important, and being able to clear it on the very last stage, having high tier gear is definitely important, but since you're only bringing in a limited amount of espers, you don't need to do it for every single piece. And so I would recommend just unlocking the 4 substats and then considering that piece and just using that piece until you find something better and really good that you want to upgrade to +9 or +12. Now, continuing along that gear thing over here in the war room, which again is another thing that it took me so long to figure out, was over in this Relic Fusion. Now, the Relic Fusion, you can get 4-star, 5-star, and 6-star gear. I would not recommend at all to ever buy 4 or 5-star gear. There is a conversion rate over here under the elite right here, where you can take your 4-star stuff, convert it to 5-star, and then take that stuff, the relic crystal, for 5-star, and then convert it into 6-star material. I would never ever do a 4 or a 5-star. I would take every single bit of currency that I have for 4 or 5-star, convert it from 4 to 5 and from 5 to 6, and only open up 6-star stuff. Now, currently, before the new patch comes around next week, and when you see this video, if you see this video later on, it is going to be a different number of stages, but currently you have to get to stage 8 for each one of these in order to unlock the elite. Now, in the future, it's going to be whatever stage you can actually pull 6-star stuff. So if that's stage 12 or if that's stage 13, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But whatever stage that is going to be the new stage that you have to get to unlock it. And then once you get to stage 6, then you can consider, and do this quite frequently, for this currency that you have up here. It costs 60 as of right now to fuse one. And so this is where I try to attempt to find the best stats that I can possibly, main stat, for the ones that can change, like the second positions of here, or the 2 and the 4 positions there, trying to find those good main stat relics, and then trying to find some decent substats as well. And also, while we're in the war room, we might as well talk about the Esper Fusion real quick. And a lot of new players, the first 30 days, might look at this and say, man, this is really tough to do. Well, I can tell you that it's not tough to do. I made a whole separate video on that. You're welcome to go check it out. Link for that will be in the description. But this is not as intimidating as you initially might think it is, and it did not take very long to do at all. I was able to complete Fabrice in just a couple hours, and then I was able to complete Gabrielle in 3 or 4 hours after that. So combined, it only took me like 6-7 hours total of actual gameplay and trying to figure out how to actually do it to get this done. And so it's really not that hard. And Gabby is an absolute fantastic 5-star legendary Esper that I certainly do not regret doing. So as a new player, you can start working on this, and I would certainly recommend it. Continuing on with that Esper Fusion, the first one, Fabrice, you have to have Bernice in order to start it. Now, this is another thing I didn't learn till weeks and weeks after I started the game. Well, if you weren't lucky enough to pull Bernice from the Echo, from any of your record spins, there's actually still a way to get there. And so what you're going to want to do is go up into chat right here and just look through chat. And what you're going to try to find is these ripple dimensions. Oh, look, it's Bernice. Now, I saw a thing that said ripple dimension Bernice. And all you're going to do is jump into this ripple dimension, and you're going to challenge it just like you normally do. Oh, we're already in multi-battle. So you're going to do just like you normally do. You get 5 attacks with whatever particular Esper. Now, currently, as of making this video, you can do this for 3-star Espers only, and 1 single 4-star Esper that you can find in this chat. But, like I said, this is an easy way to be able to get Bernice, and an easy way for you to unlock her and use her for Fabrice without having to rely on record spins. So then you might say, well, what do you do with that after you, does that unlock her once you complete? No, it doesn't quite unlock her just yet. So after you complete the ripple dimensions, you're gonna get 5 ripples, I guess. You go into the record player, you go over to the right to a record stand, and this is where all of your ripples are going to be. Now, each ripple that you find of the particular 3-star character, you're going to get 5 attempts to complete it. And once you get up to 30 ripples, so with Bernice, you're going to have to find her 6 times, do it 5 times each, 6 times total, and you'll get 30 ripples, and then you'll be able to spin it and unlock Bernice that way. So it's a really good, cool way to try to find the espers that you're looking for. Dahlia is the one that is the 4-star currently. Fantastic. Still trying to get her, still trying to look through chat. It is pretty painstaking and super boring. That can definitely be an improvement that they need to do to this game, because staring at chat is not very much fun. But it is a method to get the espers. Now, of course, when you're starting the game, as you level up, you're going to be unlocking all of the different game modes, the DJ contest, which is a cool way to be able to earn different currencies. It's kind of fun to play. Bounties, again, another way for you to earn easy currency, crystals, coins, etc., and unlock things in like the missions and stuff. So that's always fun. The Atlas, you can look at all of the espers or look at previous story, which is kind of neat. If you're like me that skipped through the entire story or a big part of the story, and you want to check out what the story actually says, you can go back into there. There are other game modes as well, like Point War, which is like a PvP type of thing, Arena, which is kind of a place that you can test stuff. So there are game modes that you're going to unlock, and I wouldn't necessarily say any particular thing that you have to look out for or watch for or do anything, but actually play the game. The only thing that I would suggest is that over in the missions at the very bottom of your tab right here, I would be on the lookout of the missions in here and try to complete them, because there are so many good rewards, a lot of good materials that you need in order to level up espers and stuff that you get from doing this. Now, the only one that I would say to maybe watch out for, just depending on what time it is you watch this video, how soon you watch the video. Now, currently in the story, I have completed the story 12-8, very last on hard mode, and you get fantastic rewards, all these gold records, all these Abilimon, all of this stuff right here. Well, currently, from what I understand, is that the new currency that you have, or that there is going to be for the new record player, the SSM currency, is going to be in some of these missions, in some of these courses. And for those people that have already completed it, we don't know if we're necessarily going to get those like retroactive, like if we've already completed it, are we going to get that currency back? So I would just be mindful of that if you're watching the video today, which is Friday, August 19th, and the update comes out August 23rd, which is in just a couple days, I would probably hold off on completing any of the story where you're at right now, just in case you don't get them like retroactive for already completing the things that were in there. But then once August 23rd comes around, then it'll change and everything that is be in there, and then go hard in it. But all this stuff is super important. The rewards that they give you for completing this stuff, the rewards they give you for completing, completing Gabby in the fusion is amazing. You get all of these 5-star Staramon, 4-star Abilimon, really good rewards. So I would definitely try to complete these. Then we have the quests. If you don't pay attention, you're gonna want to at least fill this, you want to fill this bar up every single day, because you get a M-Pass currency or R-Pass currency or whatever the currency is for the current pass. You're going to get that currency in these boxes, and you're going to level up the pass and get more rewards. So it's going to give you a bunch of different missions, and you're going to want to complete whatever missions it says. You don't have to do all of them. It really does not take but 30 minutes to fill up this entire bar. But you're going to want to be on the lookout for that, and definitely do that. The achievements, on the other hand, you can actually just do this by playing the game. The rewards are okay. Some of them are a lot better than others, but it's really not that crazy good. And so you could just complete those by just playing the game naturally. Now, as far as the club goes, I would certainly recommend to find a club that you can get into, and at least try to find one that is a lot more active. Now, my personal opinion, this is one of the aspects of the game that they could certainly make vast improvements on. All we have right now is Holo Battle, and that's fine, but I play a lot of RPG games. 3 other RPG games to be exact: DC Legends, Marvel Strike Force, and Lego Unbox. Now, I play all 3 of those, and they're all different in a lot of ways, some similar in a lot of ways. But as far as the club goes, alliance goes, this is not a whole lot. Now, it is just the beginning of the game itself, and hopefully we're going to see some improvements and some new things going to be added. But either way, I would still join a club or find a club, because you're going to want to complete tasks, and as you complete tasks, you get rewards. So it's just an extra way for players to get rewards. And as you're completing rewards, you can also help other members. And by helping other members, you get fragments to open up specific types of records for certain elements. We'll talk about trials real quick. Now, again, these are just things that I have found in the first 30 days to be the most important, and the things that I kind of wish I started doing in the very beginning. And one of these was expeditions. I can't remember or know exactly when this unlocks. I do not know. I am max level 60. It only took me 3 weeks from playing the game to get to max level. And I do want to mention that I am a free-to-play player. I have not spent yet, not saying that I won't, but I at least have not spent any real money on this game so far. But expeditions are certainly very important. I think you get 3 expeditions every single day. You can only max out at 4, so don't waste them. Every single day before I go to bed, they take 8 hours to do. There's no real requirements. You just have to click one and then send in specific espers. It doesn't change any other game mode in the game. Doesn't limit them from being used in anything else. It's just something for you to get extra resources. These do change daily, so I would certainly do that every single day. Another thing that I would probably recommend is trying to farm the Sonic Miracles as much as possible. This Ascension material is absolutely crucial to leveling up your espers, to ascend your espers to better stats, to get better stats, unlocking abilities, types of thing. So this stuff is certainly really important. Don't sleep on the Sonic Miracles. The Ritual Miracle is going to be where you're going to farm gear. Somewhat of a similar thing in which I wouldn't necessarily sleep on it, but I don't, at least in the beginning, have found that the Ritual Miracles are as important as the Sonic Miracles, or even the Cube Miracle, or even the Infinite Miracle. I have found the Ritual Miracles to be less important because it is very difficult to get a really good relic at a really good quality with the substats and main stats that you really want. And so I wouldn't concern yourself too much, at least in the beginning, for trying to find those perfect relics and those perfect pieces with the perfect substats. You really don't need it just yet. I would concern yourself with the Sonic Miracle, getting all those Ascension materials, the Cube Miracle, getting all of that currency and the rewards, and then the Infinite Miracle, trying to climb this tower to unlock Apollo. Each single level, you're going to get extra materials. Desolate Lands is one, at least for me, the first 30 days that I have found incredibly hard. It is going to be pretty useful eventually, but not really the first 30 days. Now, friends, having friends is important, believe it or not. You can give gifts, claim gifts. You can give assists. You can put a helper assist where you can try to complete some of the game modes in the game by using espers from people in your club or people that are on your friends list. This is very useful. And so you might say, well, what use does having friends do for me? Well, that takes us to the shop. Well, since we were just talking about friends, we'll just jump over to the friendship shop first. Now, again, like I said, a lot of this format might change when the update comes out August 23rd. And so if it is a little different, you know, I think the same thing's going to apply. But you get this sort of currency, these little hearts or whatever, which help you get not too many things, but the wish stickers. The wish stickers are to help get the fragments of the different elemental records, which is kind of nice. Stamina helps you get stamina without having to spend your crystals on it, which is also nice. And then get 1 or 3-star Staramon, so that's also good. Now, as far as the other shops go, do I recommend spending on anything in these shops? Well, some of the stuff, yes. Some of the stuff, no. Now, as far as the gold goes, you know, you got 6-star relics right here, and some of them are pretty decent. Like this is Hammer of Thor, even though it is only 2-star or 2 quality or whatever. These stats so far, at least for this particular one, really is somewhat decent. You know, for number 2, if it is Hammer of Thor, you're probably gonna want like crit chance or crit damage. Maybe, I mean, I'm no expert or anything. But a lot of times you're going to want, like on the second one, crit chance, crit damage. But attack bonus is not that bad. And attack bonus for here is not that bad. Is it worth 308,000 though? Which is crazy. I think the flawless ones are like 600,000. So it does go up quite a bit. And you might think, well, you have 2.2 million. Yeah, I have 2.2 million. And if I wasted just 600,000 on one single relic, that would be kind of expensive, you know. So I would say that sometimes you need some of this, and sometimes certain pieces come in that are really good. I've seen a couple pieces in here. I've bought in Flawless in here before because it had a main stat that I really wanted, and so I bought it. Anyways, moving on to the other ones. These do refresh though, so they are on a time limit. The gold shop does refresh quite often. Friendship shop that refreshes every day. Tournament shop, this is the one you play the PvP in, the point war. And so point war is good in the sense that the more you play it, the more you get the currency, and the more you get the currency, the more you can buy things like these legendary Staramon, which I certainly need. I mean, I have 1,000,000 espers right now at level 50. I need legendary Staramon to level them up to level 60. So it is important. It does have this, you know, other gear in here, which you can also purchase. It has gold records, Abilamons, Staramons, and stuff like that. I would not buy crystals or gold or Experimon. I wouldn't buy that stuff in these types of shops because it is pretty easy to get. Crystals, maybe. I can kind of, you know, see the use to purchase that. Then we got the cube shop. This is it from the Cube Miracles. Again, another game mode that I think is pretty darn good. Lets you get tons of rewards. Wouldn't sleep on it. You do get these currencies while you complete those rewards. Can unlock a bunch of neat stuff. Club, same thing. By participating in club stuff, you get a currency and can buy certain things: reset stones, epic boosts, legendary Staramon, shimmer fragments, specific ripples that you can't get in the chat. Melanie is, I think, the only 3-star Esper that you actually can't get in the chat because she is in the club shop, and that's how you buy her ripples. Another thing with the gear that I really didn't know or figure out till a little bit later, we have Relic Boosts. Now on particular gear pieces, you can add a very small number of percentage points or flat stat boosts to certain things that are in your substats. You do accumulate the lower tiered ones, the green ones, quite easily in some senses, but I wouldn't worry about this just yet. I mean, the first 30 days, you're really not even gonna find too many really good gear pieces that I think that you would want to spend it on. There is that Desolate Lands, which you can pick up this stuff in. This stuff's pretty tough though, and at least for me, even after 30 days, I can only get the green stuff in there, and so it's really not all that important. The Relic Reset, though, on the other hand, I did make this mistake. I got a little impatient, and I had Relic Stones, these little Relic Stones right here. Relic Stones will reset your 4 substats to random things. So maybe you got a really good main stat, and the 4 substats are trash, and you want to reset it. That's sure, definitely a good reason to do it. But I would honestly hold off on this stuff until your later game, like at least past 30 days. I mean, give your account some time to gather some gear, gather some espers, get level 60, get some gear that you like or want. Don't waste these relic stones on something like that in the beginning, because you're gonna, over time, you're gonna accumulate so much stuff, and the things that you want or need in the beginning are definitely gonna change the more you play. And so you don't need them. You don't need the perfect relics in the beginning, and so I would just not do that and not waste those materials because they're hard to get. All right, well, hopefully I hit everything. I know this is probably going to be a pretty long video, and yeah, hopefully I got everything talked about, and hopefully it helped everybody out. Like I said, this was all the things that I learned the first 30 days, all the things that I wish I knew from the very beginning when I started this game. Overall, my opinion about it is that, I mean, I really like it. I do. I really like it. I do see a lot of negative things about this game, or about what's going on in this game and about the update that's coming out. But I played 3 other mobile RPGs, so I can compare it to those particular games. And there are so many aspects of this game that are so much better than the other ones. And so, I don't know. Maybe that'll be for a video to come to compare all 4 of them. Either way, though, like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that I forgot. I'm still 30 days. I mean, I'm 30 days fresh. I'm still somewhat of a noob, so I don't know everything. I'm still learning, but those are all the things that I did learn in the first 30 days. Hopefully it did help you, and hopefully I see y'all again soon. Good luck on the new upcoming banner, the SSM, and the new update on the 23rd. And after that, if you're watching this 6 months later, well, hopefully things are going good for you. Either way, though, I will see y'all next time. Y'all take it easy. We're out. Peace.